to Bad Toons, our video podcast where we critique cartoons. We look at animated abominations and we try to discern, is it a diamond in the rough or is it fool's gold? Andy, you're my co-host.
Yes.
I'm Chris.
This is the 25-year respective thing where Chris gets all sentimental and goes, Andy, you're my co-host, you're my friend, you're my brother.
2 episodes in.
This isn't 2 episodes. This is 2 episodes into the video podcast.
The video. Well, this was an audio podcast, and then people were like, we can't see the cartoon.
We have rebranded like 4 fucking times.
That's true.
Hey guys, welcome to our Better Homes and Gardens podcast where we watch all the HGTV we can.
This is our HGTV Property Brothers. We're the new Property Brothers. We call it Bad Rooms. We're going to go through room by room and be like, no, this room's too big.
What?
This room's too small. And then someone's like, that's a closet. And I'm like, fool me once.
What's Property Brothers? Is that show where the 2 brothers become slaves? Because, that's the only property I can, that's the only way I can think of that brothers being property.
So a very respected source, Andy, told me that school's out for summer.
Yeah?
It's rumored school might be out forever. And if reports are to be believed, my school's been blown to pieces.
I don't think you should say that on the air.
But the good news is, 32 years old, and there's no chance in hell I have the money to go back to college, so it doesn't affect me that much. But just because I'm sentimental, because it's summertime's in the air, wait, we should have waited and watched like cartoons about summer camp. We should have watched cartoons like Camp Laszlo or something.
Camp Candy, Camp Laszlo.
These are all cartoons about the first day of school.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck? We're watching Gravedale High with Rick Moranis.
School's back in session.
Oh, my respected sources returned. We're watching...
I've also heard, hold on, I'm getting a word. Dead babies can't take care of themselves.
Well, that's morose, but I think it goes without saying.
It's true. Somebody said it.
We're watching Gravedale High, we're watching Galaxy High, and we're watching Beverly Hills Teens.
Oh, is this like a video game thing? Because we're doing Galaxy High?
Yes.
I didn't even know. I mean, I thought it just came out. I didn't realize it already.
It's a difficult show to get into. I mean, because if you screw up watching the first episode, you got to watch the first episode over and over again. So let's watch them tunes. That's my throw. Do you like my throw too?
I hate it.
Let's watch them tunes.
I hate it.
You gotta watch them tunes.
Start it over.
You gotta watch them tunes.
We're starting.
Hey everyone, welcome to Bad Toons. My name is Chris. His name is. I did it again. I'm so sorry. His name. You say your name.
My name is whatever one of the Property Brothers' names is. I did not do research.
Before we do any improv bit, we have to do a lot of research.
Let's watch I'm sorry, I thought that Alice Cooper would tell me who the Property Brothers are, but he doesn't have any songs about it.
Let's go to our respected source, this album from the 1970s.
I paid $1 billion for this fucking album. I thought, wait a minute, that's just the title. The title of the album is $1 Billion Babies. I guess it doesn't cost that much.
Yeah, there's a sticker that says $7.99.
The guy at the Empire Records totally ripped me off. Wait a minute. Empire Records hasn't existed for 200 years. Can we watch the tunes now? Okay, bye. That's a new sign off.
No. Let's watch them tunes.
Please take a seat, yeah, we're dying to meet ya.
Please take a seat, yeah, we're dying to meet ya. We're down in Gravedale. This was garbage.
Was that the theme song?
Yeah.
I basically blocked out the entire show.
Well, there was a part in the Gravedale High theme song where it sounded like we couldn't make out what they said. It sounded like they said, go with the spirit and chillingly kill it. And I'm like, whoa, I knew this was a school of monsters, but they ain't fucking around.
Go with the spirit and chillingly cheer it.
First off, I should say, this is the main reason why we have to preserve cartoons. There's not a DVD of this. There's not a Blu-ray of this. We couldn't get a high quality rip. The only version of this show we could find very low quality, so please excuse the bad visuals. But what's here is so compelling we can't not talk about it. So let's start off with the premise. Max Schneider, as played by star of stage and screen, Rick Moranis, Canada's own, is a human teacher at a monster school.
Yep.
This is basically
No more needs to be said.
the end. This is Scooby-Doo Ghoul School, but they replace Shaggy with an adult version of Shaggy. Is Rick Moranis what happens when Shaggy stops smoking? Like he loses all of his chill and there's just the neurotic tension?
Oh, God.
Like his best friend's dead because dogs don't live that long. I'm sorry, Scooby-Doo fans, but Scooby's pushing, 45 now? So you had to put him down sometime. So yeah, but he's your classic neurotic Rick Moranis character, bow tie wearing brown suit. And he has a school of monsters he teaches. Let's go down the characters, shall we? We got Blanche, who's apparently a zombie, and fitting of being a zombie, she's played by the daughter of Harry Belafonte, who I believe's name is Sherry Belafonte. We have Reggie Moonshroud. You remember Reggie Moonshroud? Jump in and give me some of these character descriptions for me.
I don't.
Reggie Moonshroud was Donatello if Donatello was a werewolf.
Okay, so he was Werewolf Otacon.
No, he's literally the voice actor for Donatello and the same character because he's the nerd who's like who takes the moral high ground on everything and no one likes.
An A for awful. The intruder has no class. May I suggest building a full-sized model of my Monster One space probe? Then the whole class can visit other planets. If I can just get her to swallow this large economy-size exoboron capsule, it might reverse the growth process.
Cleopatra, which is a really mean fat joke, played by Ricky Lake. So I guess that kind of fits if, for people who remember Ricky Lake from her talk show circuit, maybe not so much, but when I think of Ricky Lake, I think of Hairspray.
Here's the thing. Ricky Lake, make her Creature of the Black Lagoon. I'm just giving you that. Then you could even keep the name Ricky Lake. Instead of what looks like fucking Mummy Meg from Family Guy. I don't know. This is not... one of my only notes on this entire show... 5 minutes in, I just wrote in bold letters, "This is bad," and then circled it every time.
Well, I guess we need to say that all of these characters, they're monsters, but they're also the crudest archetypes of characters in a high school show. And what's worse is, we then watch the same cartoon twice over. Because, spoiler alert, for the rest of the episodes, these 3 shows are the same goddamn show. This one threw me through a loop. One, it's Twin Peaks' own Lucy.
Agent Cooper, I've got a call for you from a Mr. Albert Rosenfeld. Sounds like long distance. You got it, Schneider. And according to old Iron Hand, I'm running the show.
Is Doozer, who's the Medusa character. I get if her name was Doosa, but maybe that sounds too much like taking a shit. Or maybe Rick Moranis because Rick Moranis because he's fucking Canadian and would not be corrected. Oh, so her name is Doozer. No, Doosa. That's why I said Doozer.
Like Medusa.
Hey, it's that Medusa over there. Take off, you hoser. Really inappropriately named Franken, which I thought was just horrible.
Chris.
Yeah.
It's Frankentyke.
Oh, because he's a kid?
Yeah. By the way, isn't he a little young for high school?
I guess so. If he's are you sure it's Frankentyke and not Franken? Because there's the dog-faced boy chasing him through the hallways, and that could go either way with those hard R's.
I'll rip that little rat Rankenreich.
He calls him the Rankenreich, so I think he's referring to the Third Reich.
Oh my God, Frankenstein. Well, his name's actually Frankenstein. Oh man, do you think it's like a Nimdoc thing? Do you think anyone's gonna get the Nimdoc reference? Probably not. Scum of the Earth did a wonderful Let's Play of a game called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Check it out. Headmistress Crone, she's the headmistress. And then the 2 most interesting characters. Boneyard, who's just the groundskeeper of the school. Ladies and gentlemen, we get to fill out another piece on what I call Chris Vaughn's Deep Space Nine bingo, because he's played by Joseph Sisko, father of Captain Sisko, Brock Peters. He was also Tom in To Kill a Mockingbird, but who cares? Whatever. More importantly, he's that guy that owns the awesome restaurant that refuses to sell replicated food. He's like, I can tell the difference between a replicated This sounds nothing like him at all. I don't know why I made him a Southern sheriff.
Chris is going to be getting some major points online.
Yeah.
Because not only did he say the D slur, but then he said that no one cares about To Kill a Mockingbird.
In comparison to D Space Nine, which also had very strong civil rights messages, I would say.
But then...
more so.
There was Star Trek Ghost Set of Watchmen, which was actually made before, and it was released without permission. It totally undoes all the civil rights messages that Star Trek has always stood for.
Yeah, that's when we find out that Captain Sisko doesn't give a shit about the Rift.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, get this stupid VR toy off of me. Sorry, I meant the wormhole, not the Rift. Well, it's funny that one of the words is a hint you just said. Because another character...
Palmer Lucky.
Gil Waterman. Who was Gil? I gave Andy some homework. I said, hey, there's a Creature of the Black Lagoon character named Gil Waterman. Guess who he is?
Hey, fuck you. If you give me homework, I have to have a night to complete it. Not literally, hey, Andy, guess what?
Well...
We're recording the podcast right when we're done.
It's time for me to let the cat out of the bag.
Who is it?
And all the ghouls and vampires will look up from their graves and shout, stake us. And I will look down and whisper, no. Jackie Earl Haley.
There's no fucking way in hell I would have guessed Jackie Earl Haley.
Play the clip.
Fast delivery, little kid.
The whole time, Chris was like, hey, you guess who this person is? And I was like, well, surely it couldn't be Jackie Earl Haley.
Surely.
Because
I don't know why I'm Dr. Frankenfetter. Surely it couldn't be Jackie Earl Haley. You guess Maurice LaMancha's character, like, fucking out of the gate. You're like, well, that's Maurice LaMancha.
Why don't we all invest in junk bonds? Then we could watch our money turn into garbage.
I can hear Maurice LaMancha's fucking voice for like literally a split second.
So
know.
What's the plot of what's the plot of this episode?
Okay, refer back to our previous episode where we talk about Gaither Pond, and it's literally copy and paste. It's about
ethics and journalism.
Boy, this doesn't get tiring to talk about, right?
As pressing today as ever. They're charged with making a school newspaper, and Medusa turns it into a rag.
I think you mean Doozer.
Sorry,
she turns it into a weekly world news, except instead of reporting about monsters, she's reporting about monsters who do weird things.
No, I think that's exactly like Weekly World News.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because Weekly World News is like, Bat Boys marrying Hillary Clinton. It's never like...
Is that true?
It's never handled with any seriousness.
Do you think that could hurt her nomination?
I mean, it's a step up. Have you been seeing Bill lately? He looks like he's been to the boneyard. A joke that made us chuckle, but not for the right reasons. Someone has a camera and they're like, I'm gonna be a regular Andy Warthog.
Because warthogs are monsters, apparently.
Were there any characters I missed?
Oh, actually, at one point, Undyne from Undertale shows up, so that's pretty cool. I think they have both eyes at that point, though. And, of course, I believe he was the gym teacher?
Yeah.
Was a grown-up, monster-fied version of Doug. From Disney's Doug.
So, apparently, yeah, they start spreading lies about the other students, people's feelings get hurt, and instead of them turning it around and making the paper better, they just quit.
Yeah.
Then what about those stories about him and me?
Made him up.
Dooza, you're fired.
Get a life. I quit.
I think that's actually a good message, because once you've done that much damage, you just walk away. You know, once your Twitter account gets unverified, you walk away. Speaking to a certain demagogue out there, you just, for the good of everyone, shut it down.
And I mean, they said that the paper was only done by one person, but really it was like maybe, I don't know, 30 monsters.
Like
30 horrible monsters.
Like the Jotun troll, he counts as one person, but really he's actually 30 smaller monsters combined into one.
Exactly.
And each one's more racist than the last.
No. We save the racism for Galaxy High. This is Gravedale High.
This is Gravedale High.
And this was Gravedale High, because I can't think of a single goddamn thing to talk about after that.
I will say this, though. They all seem really cool with a human. That's the weird thing. This wasn't an origin story.
Yeah.
There's not an origin story episode. Like you look at the plot and it's like Max Schneider accidentally accepts a job at a monster high school. He gets into wacky hijinks, but they're not monster related hijinks. Yeah. They're, oh no, my student said I'm dating the principal when I'm not. They are all just super accepting of this dude.
I think everybody's cool with it, but you, Chris.
I think everyone's... Oh, God, maybe I'm the monster. You know what? The real monster is racism.
Yes.
Which brings us to Galaxy High.
Amy is the sweetheart. Doyle's got a lot to learn here at Galaxy High. Galaxy High. Galaxy High.
So now we come to Galaxy High School. I've been calling it Galaxy High this whole time. I feel
they call it Galaxy High in the theme,
but it's official. It's Galaxy High School.
Yeah.
Why would they trick me like that? Speaking of the theme, like you hear the theme start out and you kind of have high hopes for it, and then it sucks. It blandly tells you the backdrop of the story.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother to rhyme. Andy, I hate saying it, but I don't think the Buggles have it anymore.
2 kids will be chosen from Earth to go to school at Galaxy High.
This was not made this year, Chris.
I don't know, man. Living in the plastic age, this is not, you know. This is a story of 2 teenagers. Andy, what are their names? He can't remember.
Good
their
question.
names.
Amy Doyle, Clever Loeb, and Amy Santiago. No,
Bright Tower.
What?
Amy Bright Tower and
That's
Doyle
just
Clever Loeb
stupid as shit.
are 2 teens who are selected to go to Galaxy High School. I want to know, do they live in a society that knows that aliens exist or not? They don't. There's no fish out of water, like, shock moment. There's plenty of fish out of water, like, comedy moments. Like, oh, I don't know how alien pizza works. But there's no, like, holy crap, aliens. So I guess this is when humanity is being integrated into the rest of galactic society. And as a test run... Oh my god, I am explaining the plot to Mass Effect, I just realized. Instead of specters, though, they're getting 2 high school students and putting them into algebra class.
Yeah.
We should also note that this show was created by Chris Columbus. The Chris Columbus. The man, the myth. He created Home Alone. He made Home Alone 2. He made Bicentennial Man. He discovered America. He might have invented slavery. He can't quite discern what is and what is not a pepper. He also made Galaxy High School. It starts with the first day of high school, and already Doyle, off the bat, is being a dick to Amy. He's not negging her. I don't know if that had been invented yet. But
if this is in the future, then absolutely.
Oh, that's true. But he's just like, there's gonna be so many hot babes around. I don't want you cramping my style. That's why I need to know. Do they know do they know the bestiary? Have they read Barlow's Sized Guide to Science Fiction Races? Because if they have, he'd know that most of those things are feathers, tentacles, and vaginas with teeth. You're going to get into some horrifying monsters with terrible venereal diseases.
What you're saying is, he's a man of taste.
Maybe he has read Barlow's Guide to Sci-Fi Creatures, and he's like, oh yeah, the one on page 68, centerfold. Just a picture of a Tarrasque from D&D.
There's a famous post on Tumblr, which is a person getting mad at the fictional character Ben Tennyson from Ben 10. Because there's an episode where one of those four-armed people with the 4 eyes and the 4 arms comes down.
Yeah.
And thinks that he's one of them and tries to fuck him. And he's like, I'm not into this because you're like a gross 4-arm lady with super big muscles. And everyone's response is just like, man, Ben, fuck you. Get it. Like,
dude, this is your one shot.
She's got, like, look how big her muscles are.
What's the worst that can happen?
I mean, granted, he's a 10-year-old. So
the worst that could happen is that he'd get some stowaways and his dick would fall off.
Oh, I was thinking more, the next point I was going to bring up, death by snoo-snoo.
I was going to bring up maybe the males get pregnant. The ultimate venereal disease.
Galaxy High is just a very shitty version of Futurama.
It's the beta test of Futurama.
Instead of him being a delivery boy, he's a pizza maker. Which, I mean, two sides of the same coin. Because Fry even starts out in a pizza place. And he's just this average, like, really stupid guy with a really average voice and average hair. And the opening even shows them going through the clear tubes.
See,
like in Futurama.
You say Futurama, I think this is a lot more like Harlan Ellison's The Discarded. I don't think these creatures are aliens. I think they are severely mutated human beings that they all put into one spaceship, in quotation marks, a high school, and it is slowly orbiting all of the planets in our solar system, and no one will take these refugees in. And maybe Doyle has like a third nipple, or Amy has 1 foot that's drastically shorter than the other. And they're like, fuck, you get on the ship. You're only gonna get worse from here. I'm just saying the last episode ends with Doyle climbing out of the airlock and freezing to death in the cold depths of space.
Spoiler alert.
And there we go. The smartest joke that Bad Toons ever had, because I read a book once. Good night, everybody.
Before Chris's good night, everyone, that he likes to do in the middle of every podcast, I would like to point out that this show has 2 of my biggest pet peeves. One, something that I'm only referring to as rectangular face body asshole. I don't know how else to describe it, so that's just the term now. Start a TV tropes page for it tonight. First one I can think of would be the rectangular face body asshole from Captain N.
The Game Boy.
The Game Boy.
Kevin,
This show-
it's me, Game Boy. Why are you calling me an asshole? You're like a father figure to me, Kevin.
Suck a dick. This show...
You shouldn't talk that way to your children, Kevin.
My name's not Kevin.
Kevin, I'm calling the
You
authorities. You shouldn't talk to your children that way.
You sound more like
Kevin.
a fish monster.
You put me in the toilet, Kevin. That's why I sound like a fish monster. Now I have to hang out with Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh yeah, Chris? You want to pull that shit? Oh, guess what Chris did? When Chris was a teenager, he murdered his Tamagotchi by pouring Sprite into the buttonhole.
He was thirsty.
You shouldn't give any pet Sprite, Chris.
I wasn't ready for the responsibilities of the ultimate venereal disease, which is having a child.
Anyway, though, this show has one, and he is a blackboard. What was his name?
He's just the blackboard.
They said it was like a stupid, like...
Fucking
pun on
robots don't
blackboard.
get names. The
Was he a
lockers
robot? I thought he was magic.
No, you thought he was the fucking magic screen, and they're gonna connect the
Yeah.
dots, la 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 la?
They're the original rectangular face body asshole.
Okay, we have 3. We have the blackboard.
What about SpongeBob?
SpongeBob is not a rectangular face-bodied asshole.
But Chris, his face is his body. He's rectangular.
It's rectangular.
I know.
He's been popping up in a bunch of memes lately. I think you might be right.
I thought of 3 or 4 more,
Keep going.
but I cannot remember them now. So I feel like a fucking asshole.
Well,
This
if you,
show
had
has-
if you had a rectangular face and body, you'd be right up there with them.
Well, guess what? We're going to be pointing them out every time they show up. The other thing that bothers me about the show, I'll just give you a short little thing. The smart girl, whatever her name was,
Amy Hightower.
I almost called her Sam. I don't know why.
No, Hightower is someone from Police Academy.
Amy gets a scholarship Because she's so smart.
Yeah, they bamboozled him.
Yeah.
They didn't tell them that the Galaxy High is a fucking private school.
Guess what? The dumb jock kid, Doyle, which is the worst name for a popular kid, because a kid named Doyle, no matter what he looks like, would get the shit knocked out.
He would call himself Bryce until someone found like his... Like that's like... His middle name must be so much more embarrassing that he's not going by it. Like, his middle name must be something like Trash Butt for him to be a Doyle.
I just realized why I kept calling him Boyle.
Why?
Because Amy. We've got Charles Boyle and Amy Santiago. So they're like, hey, guess what, dumbass? We're giving her a free car. You get a floating skateboard or something instead of a car. Also, you have to work to go to school. So that sucks.
So much for thinking that alien races would be a socialist utopia.
Yeah.
No, apparently capitalism rules. Which reminds me of another cartoon we're going to watch.
So he has to work in a pizza place. And of course he's mistreated and his life is shit.
Mamma mia!
I literally said, oh, they still have Italians in space as a joke. Next scene, it's called Luigi's.
And he's like Yosemite Sam?
And, yeah.
But he's like, oh, you gotta make the pizza!
I think the only thing that makes him look unhuman is his chin is green or something. I don't know.
He's short.
Yeah, he's
a short Italian man. He's not an alien.
Hey.
Okay.
That's why I gave you a chance, because you're an immigrant just like me.
So the Turians and the Krogan, they're all around. They're like, okay, before we invite Shepard to be a specter, trial run pizza place. Hear me out. If they can make a good pie, then we'll trust them with our experimental spacecraft.
I would play Mass Effect 4 if it was a pizza making sim.
So far, people think the best parts of Mass Effect 3 were hanging out with your buds, talking about chicks, hot tubbing, karaokeing, and...
Karaokeing is not a thing.
Karaokeing? Karaokeing is what the Krogans do. It's not... It's actually the Krogan birthing process. And when you see it, you're gonna wish they stayed sterilized.
I haven't got to my pet peeve, though.
Go.
That was just a setup. I thought I would give you guys a little flavor, because we didn't really talk about the show at all. So he takes a pizza pie with anchovies on it. And he takes to a place where there are giant somewhat anthropomorphized fish. And they're like, we definitely didn't order that. This is one of my biggest pet peeves because it's something that always happens in shows. They always talk about fish cannibalism, where it's like, oh no, fish can't eat other fish. Like, watch a nature doc. Fish only eat other fish. That's all they fucking eat. Like, maybe krill or something.
Just like how humans eat orangutans all the time.
Yes.
And if you're saying, I've never eaten orangutan, Pringles. Look on the back of those cans.
How do you think Cheetos get that orange dust?
Yeah.
It's orangutan blood.
Just
Anyway.
What? Their blood is orange?
I just assume.
Are you assuming? Hold on. Are you assuming that orangutans were once regular monkeys who were pelted by gamma rays, and when they get angry, they turn into orangutans?
Okay. Have you ever seen 21 Days Later?
Yeah.
Or 22 or whatever the fuck.
21 days later, yeah. 28 days later.
28 days later.
I think
21 Jump Street.
You're getting confused with 21.
You know when there's the rage virus?
Yeah.
And it turns all those chimps into orangutans? Anyway, though, fish eat fish all the fucking time.
Well,
they
Andy,
eat different kinds of fish.
We were going to talk about racism.
Yeah.
I guess this is the one time you're the racist and I'm not.
Why? Because fish are friends, not food?
No. Because you assume that's the only reason they wouldn't eat that pizza. He clearly fucking says, we didn't order this. If someone walked over and they were like, here you go, your Hawaiian pizza, bro. You'd be like, I didn't order this. Give me the right pizza. Fish are not second-class citizens. If they get the wrong pizza, they can have that corrected. You're just angry that a fish stood up to a human.
But humans are the lowest man on the totem pole in this society.
That's true.
Especially short green Italians.
Even in the cold depths of space, everyone hates the Italians. So here's my pet peeve. This is another science fiction property. I shouldn't eat that. No, that's way too good of a thing to call Galaxy High. This is another faux sci-fi property for children. that treats aliens as one race. You never see like a group of like the same aliens together.
Yeah.
It's not like Star Trek where there's the Romulans, the Klingons, the Ferengi, and like we have about 10 or 20, and then we have some crazy outliers. This is like every single alien has to be its own unique thing, which is why I said it's probably more like the Discarded, and pretty soon students are going to be killing themselves and dying in the cold depths of space alone. But like, there's announcements over the intercom where it's like, tonight we'll be showing the horror classic I Was a Teenage Human. That would be like if you were like, tonight we're showing I Was a Teenage Black Guy.
Tonight we're showing the Song of the South.
So here's we're 16 minutes into a 22-minute cartoon. That's how it always is on Bad Toons. Get used to it. Here's the plot of this first episode. Being smart is more important than being good at sports in space. Because instantly Doyle, he's cast out of like popular society. He's vilified by the other students. They think he's gross. There's literally an alien who walks around with a shirt that says Earth stinks. Yet again, be like walking around with a shirt that said like France stinks. Which I guess back in like 2001, yeah, you'd see a lot of that in high schools. So he's treated really poorly, and they make a point to say that in Galaxy High, men outnumber women like greatly.
3-1.
But yeah, so it's like he's nothing special in Galaxy High. Whereas Amy, who gets a full scholarship and a car, I guess like that's how much we like you. Here's a space car. You'll instantly know how to drive it because you're that. These aliens are really, like, irresponsible.
It's cool. It drives just like a regular car. Cool. I'm like 15. I still don't know how to drive a regular car.
Also, it has a thermonuclear warhead as its engine.
Cool.
Something's wrong with my car. Did you check the warp core engine? Boom! It's like the shoes on the other foot. Doyle, who was instantly like, yo, step off, bitch, who is inexplicably really hot, so I shouldn't be talking to this way anyway. If I'm like the jock and meathead character, I should keep all my options open because, as I've stated before, I don't know if these chicks are made of tentacles or if they look like fucking Big Bird. But then, you know, the shoes on the other foot, she's the popular one. All the other girls want to hang out with her. They go fashion styling or some shit like that. She gets her skin dyed blue, which is probably very dangerous. And then he starts getting bullied by a giant chicken and gets challenged to a game that's like hockey, except without skates, and it's one-on-one, and the ball is alive. Oh my god, Christopher Columbus went on to direct the Harry Potter movie, which stars the Golden Snitch. That's what got him interested in the project.
Yeah.
Was he like, oh, this is just like Clorf Ball, or whatever the fuck I called it. He's like, oh, kid wizards, no one's gonna buy this shit. This is so fucking stupid. Wait a minute. Does the protagonist get challenged to play a odd sporting game that is somewhat familiar to a regular sporting game in which the ball is alive? Count me in. Can we set it in space? We can't. I shouldn't have said count me in. Damn it, Chris. You tried it again.
Chris, are you talking about yourself, Chris, or Chris Columbus?
That's why I like playing characters that are named Chris, because it's easy to just do that.
All Chris's sound alike.
You really... I'm just saying, when I was Richard III, it was very hard. Because this is like a horse. My kingdom for a horse. God damn it, Chris. Where'd you put your fucking horse? Damn it. So, Doyle beats the chicken bully at the sport game, and suddenly he becomes the most popular person. So no, fucking scratch that. Brains is not more important than sports. Sports rules everything. You lied to me, Galaxy High. I thought this was going to have a good message. That in the future, we would have robot slaves, which is pretty terrible, but more importantly, brains would finally beat brawn. But no, I find out that aliens are capitalist assholes that trick you into paying for high school. That sports are still the most important thing to being popular. And worst of all, the robot slaves, they have sass mouths. Not Smash Mouth. That'd be kind of cool. If you had a robot and you'd be like, hey, RXJ97, I'm feeling real fucking down. And he was like, well, master, somebody wants... It'd be like, yeah, that's my jam. High five. please don't kill me and my family in our sleep when you realize you literally have the strength to crush my skull with the palm of your hand.
Yeah, the robots are treated bad, but not half as bad as the Italians.
Maybe he's an Italian robot.
Oh, God.
Why did we build this thing? I guess we left out a pretty major part. We left out...
Did we? I don't give a shit.
We left out Milo...
We're at 22 minutes.
We left out Milo Davinas, who is a nerdy character who follows him around. And his name is Milo Davinas because he has 6 arms?
Yeah, the opposite of Zero.
So he's
the reverse of Venus de Milo.
But he's not... I guess he's the reverse
He's
of
beautiful,
Venus.
Chris.
He's also played by Squiggy. I felt real bad for... I usually feel bad for Squiggy, especially seeing how Lenny turned out, fucking on Better Call Saul. I don't think Squiggy was in Best in Show, was he? Fucking Squiggy. Galaxy High. Maybe Michael McKean is secretly, jealous of that. They're gonna get in a big fight. He's like, look at you! You had everything! You had everything! You got to be in movies! You got to be in HBO shows! And what did I get? And Michael McKean, he can't hold it anymore. He's like, you got to be in Galaxy High! And you threw it all away! You threw it all away, Squiggy! That's not my real name! How come Chris knows your name and not mine? Because I was in Best in Show!
Also, you're not a real lawyer.
So Galaxy High is a no for me.
Yeah.
It's a no for me. It held a lot of promise and then fucking fell apart.
No, it fucking didn't.
I think it did.
This was shit.
We were like, oh, cool, it's like Proto-Futurama. And it's like, oh, it's real. It's early alpha. They didn't even add the fucking textures. Fry's clipping through the goddamn ground. Fry has been known to clip, though.
Oh,
You'll
speaking
give
of
me
which,
that.
there is a point where, I thought Farnsworth was the one who did that. There is a point where he literally does become Fry. He literally becomes French fries.
That's true. He gets thrown into a thing that skins potatoes and he's fucking dead. End of the show. The aliens killed him.
He gets thrown into this big press thing, and then he gets sent to prison, and all of his teeth are taken out. And hold on, I was watching Phantom of the Paradise on my iPhone. Sorry, that's a joke. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wasn't the bully named Beef?
You're right. At last. I can see that you're the devil's plan. I'm your nightmare coming true. I am your plan.
We need a man who is a space chicken.
We need a man who's made of fries. No one's getting these jokes. So the moral of the story is, if you're different than your peers, and you're judged on your race or species, more appropriately, just be good at sports. Conform or be good at sports. And everything will be fine. That's what I learned from Galaxy High. So again, a strong no. Hey, but Christopher Columbus, he did invent slavery, so he didn't invent it. But some would say he perfected it. On to our next film. Our parents don't love us in Beverly Hills. Now, Andy, you have a note. Says this has the best theme song of the night. Would you agree to that?
No, best theme ever. No, best of the night.
It's pretty good. I think it proves a theory that I've had.
Yeah?
The Chris Vaughn inverse quality theme song theory.
Oh.
The better the show's theme song, for 90s cartoons only, of course.
Oh, damn. I was about to say I have a perfect example.
What was your... Well, I was going to say, the better the theme song of a 90s cartoon, the worse the show.
Yeah.
Now, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I've been really enjoying Yokai Watch. And the theme song is fucking terrible.
Okay, so Yokai Watch is a good show.
I like it a lot. Quantify good.
Okay. Yokai Watch is a show.
It's a show, yes.
So what comes to mind is probably the best cartoon theme song.
Yeah?
Is Heathcliff.
Heathcliff,
and the Cadillac Cats. And we've mentioned in the previous episode.
As I always sing it, Heathcliff, no one should watch this show. It is not good.
It's a terrible show. Another one is the theme song to Dennis the Menace, which fucking sounds like a Meatloaf jam.
Yeah, I remember Chris being like, oh, we need to listen to the Dennis the Menace theme song. I remember it sounding like shit. And then we put it on and we're like, fuck, this is awesome.
Did Jim Steinman just fucking belt this out?
There's another Stein.
I'm watching this theme song and I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's all about how great it is in Beverly Hills and things are so wonderful in Beverly Hills. I'm just expecting them to splice in someone getting horribly mutilated or murdered. It's kind of like Devo's Beautiful World or Born in the USA or Keep on Rockin' in the Free World. All great Devo songs.
Let's just take the Beverly Hills Teens Beverly Hills Teen theme song.
Mm-hmm.
And splice it over footage of homeless people in Beverly Hills.
That's true.
Like,
I think they bum rush them out. I know California has a really bad homeless problem.
Yeah.
But I think they bum rush them out of Beverly Hills. I don't think they're in Beverly Hills.
That's true. There are no homeless here in Beverly Hills.
The police have shot them all in Beverly Hills.
We put spikes on the ground so they can't sleep in Beverly Hills.
They are not people to us in Beverly Hills. So, to me, this show feels like it's Gravedale High before they were monsters. Because these are the same goddamn characters. At least Galaxy High, yeah, jock, nerd.
Lady with 5 mouths.
Lady with 5 mouths.
The lady who keeps forgetting things, and the joke was not funny the first time, and they keep reminding us of it.
Well, maybe the actual writer kept forgetting that they used that joke already.
Forgetting what?
That I have a mind erasing kit.
We already have one.
Have a what?
A mind erasing kit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go buy one of those. I hate these characters so much. I didn't write down their names. Like last Bad Toons.
Okay, hold on. Let's list them out.
Okay.
There's Jerry Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm. Pidge from Voltron.
Yeah. There was Girl Pidge.
Girl Pidge.
Okay.
Jacket.
Jacket was there. Yeah.
Made a cameo.
And then there was
Andrea Wolfson was a character.
Andrea Wolfson.
Andrea Wolfson.
Yeah.
Was a character.
Okay.
Oh, like I'm totally freaking.
I did remember one character's name, and it's gone. It's just totally gone.
It was Bianca.
Bianca.
Because I remember watching it and going, man, what does Dan Reichert see in her? She seems like a bitch. Bianca's the evil. Okay. She's the rich kid amongst rich kids. Like, all these people are super fucking rich. The fact that it's maddeningly disgusting.
Yeah.
They're wallowing in avarice so much that it kind of enrages me, and I have to keep stepping back and being like, these are fictitious characters, but then I step back further and go, but someone had to write them and idealize them, and I bet that motherfucker's rich. It's a rich guy dreaming of being richer. Fuck you, Christopher Columbus. I know you're behind this one, too.
Well, I mean, it basically invented colonialism. So, I mean, that's basically, the whole bourgeois notion.
He showed up, he said, hey everyone, these are called peppers now as well. You're all slaves, and one of these days, I want a limo that has a hot tub in the back to drive me to the beach. So yeah, we have the rock and roll duo.
I believe one of them was named like Gig.
Yeah, Gig and
and annoying. Every show like this has to have one annoying character.
No, this show is nothing but annoying characters.
That's true. But one character whose voice is just grating. Like, oh, fucking Cadillac Cat says, hey, what's up? I'm rhyming.
Well, this girl, she's all like, oh my God, bag me out.
But like she
gag me with a spoon.
Like, it's not just that she talks like a Valley Girl. It's like a super high-pitched grating.
Barf me out. He's like Lord King Bufo.
What is barf me out?
Barf me out.
That sounds like the opposite of eat me out. Hold on.
He called me a beastie.
There are 2 to 3 characters I kept getting confused because they look almost identical.
They're Ken dolls.
Yeah. They have the exact same hair, except one is slightly browner and one is like eye bleeding blonde. But then there are 2 girls, and one is a southern girl, and she's white and has brown hair, and it's like a really weird shade of brown too.
Yeah.
And then there's a black girl who has literally the same hair and face, but just a palette swap. So we've got 2 palette swaps right off the bat. And then I guess that Pierce kid, who's young Jerry Seinfeld.
Who fucking make this show? Capcom?
He also kind of looks like Cammy. No, he also kind of looks like the 2 blonde kids, but with black hair. So everyone's just a fucking palette swap of each other.
So the show is...
Oh, and then there's the kid with the hat.
So the show is... There's a surfing contest coming up, which there's a kid whose whole gimmick is that he's a surfer. He's like Gilman.
Yeah.
He's like Rorschach. Remember that odd period where Rorschach like had a lot of money as a teenager and he got to go to a very fancy school in Beverly Hills and he got to surf around?
No, he didn't. He went to Gravedale High.
That's true. And he also was the son of a prostitute and was put into foster care. So there's a surfing contest coming up and the evil Bianca, who has a manservant who is in love with her, which I would get rid of him right away.
Yeah.
He's like, you're supposed to feel bad because he's all like, oh, my darling Bianca, I'll do anything for you. And she treats him like shit. But then you realize this fucking creepo who works for her, probably works for her parents, is professing his love for her like all the time. He builds like a sandcastle. He's like, and here's where our children will sleep. It's like, dude, are you fucking 30? Look at this fucking mashed potato face, dude. Are you fucking 30? Because if you went to high school with us, I know Beverly Hills is fucked up, but if you went to high school with us, you probably wouldn't be my chauffeur. Unless maybe he's of a lower caste and he's going to chauffeur school. And she's his first assignment. In which case he blew it.
A 16-year-old chauffeur, that makes perfect sense, right?
Like he barely knows how to drive.
Yeah.
Motherfucker has to at least be 25 and he's hitting on a teenager.
Yeah.
So there's a surfing contest. And that's all I have the energy to talk about.
No. Let's talk about the very specifically what they're surfing with. Because it was a surfing contest and one person brought a surfboard. Get this. It's not the surfer.
No.
The surfer rides on a rocking horse. That's it. I was going to say, oh, rocking horse on a surfboard. It's not. It's just on the regular rails that a rocking horse is on. The rich... I guess that goes without saying.
The rich kid. Which fucking one?
Pierce... who's going out with the girl with the really bad voice. And
Pierce
also
is like the vain one.
The little kid, they're
Yeah.
all vain. They're in Beverly fucking Hills. The little kid who's a genius is helping him cheat.
Yeah.
And he has a surfboard, which they sit on and has 2 mirrors so they can look on it.
It's also motorized and has seats.
It's motorized?
I think it's motorized.
Because if it's not motorized, there's no way it would possibly work.
Yeah.
You can't sit on a surfboard and just be like, I'm surfing.
These fucking rich kids, they're like, oh, we're going to have a surfing contest, and they show up in fucking boats.
He also has a rectangular buddy who has a face.
He has a PDA system
for a body
that mocks him.
And he mocks him like he's an asshole. And he tells him all of the best girls he needs to date. I don't know. But he also...
No, okay, what it is that he needs to find a partner for this. It's a couples surfing contest. That just hurts even explaining it. And his PDA system, which is helping him track down women like their meat, is like, oh, here, sir, it's the best surfer in all of Beverly Hills. She's won championships all over the world. But oh no, she has a zit. And he's like, oh, fuck that. I'm not going to that fucking train wreck. It'll ruin my image. Instead, I'm going to go out with the rocker chick who looks like she's fucking Vince Neil from like 92. And her boyfriend Gig, who I think he's like kind of in love with her, but like she's like, you even said we shouldn't date because it'll break up the band. So she goes out with the vain kid to make Gig jealous, at which point Gig's guitar starts giving him lip.
Oh yeah, he's like kicking the guitar and shit, and he's like, who asked you?
Who asked you?
Wait, you can talk?
Yeah, it'd be good to know, like, set beforehand that Gig has a magical talking guitar. I would really like to know that. Like the Pidge Kid, he has a robot rat that he uses to scare girls in their dressing rooms. That's fucked up now that I'm saying it. But he's in a lab coat with thick glasses, so there's kind of a hint there. But I don't look at this guitarist dude who, one, why the fuck's he in Beverly Hills? He should be down at Venice Beach or something. They would fuck him, run him out. No, he has a just magic fucking guitar that's also a surfboard.
Okay. He surfs on his guitar. And his guitar has a live phone in it.
But then when enough people get on it, it sinks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to warn you.
Through early morning fog I see visions of the things to be.
But here's the thing, though. They're all getting out of the water, and Pierce, he's not moving. Why not? Oh, because he's got to go talk to Pidge, because they're going to build a big robot shark.
They're going to
eat everyone.
They're putting a robot shark in the water because even though Hot Dude is going out with Vince Neil, he actually wants to go out with Barbie. But Barbie's going out with Jacket or Ken, whichever. So they build a robot shark, and much like Jaws, the robot shark doesn't work, so he jumps on a shark that's attacking them to save them, and then, oh no, it's a real shark!
And then he dies.
And then he fucking dies.
It's great.
But he's so rich.
10 out of 10.
But the kids are so rich, they don't feel anything when he dies.
Yeah.
They don't even go to his funeral.
Dennis, do you not have feelings?
I love when Barbie punches the shark, though, because it looks like the weakest punch ever. And the shark's like, yip, yip, yip. There's one joke that made me laugh, but more of a gasp. There's a cat is being chased by a dog in a department store, and the two owners get snippy at each other, and then...
I'm sorry, Bianca. It's just that Tiara's so high-strung.
Too bad she's not strung on a violin.
And I was like, holy shit, that's a dark joke, Bev Teens. Bev Teens, where are you coming from with this stuff?
Chris likes it so much he gives it a nickname.
Bev Teens, what the shit? I'm having not a good time, but I'm a little unarmed here, and suddenly you hit me with ugh. Oh, there's an underwater cunnilingus sing, which is good. So it gets points for that.
It's like that scene in Archer.
I can't remember who fucking wins the surf contest.
Who cares?
It wasn't the rock guy, because they all get on his guitar.
Was it the rocking horse?
You said the rock guy remind you of someone.
I thought when they started sinking.
Yeah.
I thought the rock guy was going to sink into the ocean, drown to death, and then come back as Lord Raptor. There is a beach episode of the Darkstalkers cartoon as well, so it makes sense.
I would do anything for love. Bianca's treating her manservant, let's call it what it is, a slave. Bianca's treating her slave really poorly, and he starts digging it. He's like, Bianca, I love it when you're forceful.
Step aside, you wimp.
I love it when you're masterful.
And then she steps on his sandcastle, and he's like, oh, I wish you'd step on me.
He's like, will you give me your hand? She's like, I'll give you my foot. And he's like, even better. Stick those piggies right in. I wouldn't peg him for a sub, but I feel like he'll be getting pegged later tonight. Can you just imagine Bianca in a leather teddy? I mean, oh my god. As if. So it's a no for Beverly Hills Teens. What was
You just said you liked it.
No.
Like 3 times you said, I like this, I like that.
It had its...
Bev Teens is my favorite.
Up tonight, actually, you know what? I think Bev Teens might be my favorite.
I think it, just by it being the least annoying, it gets it.
That's fucking bleak.
I can't think of anything nice to say about these shows.
But no, that it's the least annoying, and it's one of the most annoying things we've ever seen.
It's one of the most annoying premises?
No, Gravedale High was not annoying. Gravedale High was a nothing show.
Yeah.
There was nothing there. There were awkward silences, which is a pet peeve in cartoons for me. Anyone out there, watch Camp WWE, a new cartoon that just came out. It's about the WWE wrestlers if they were kids. There are so many awkward silences in that show. And one of the running themes is a character will say something stupid, and then they'll be awkwardly silent to like let that awkwardness set in. But they keep doing it to the point where you have to ask yourself, did they have 10 jokes and we're like, fuck, we got a pad for time? But Gravedale High kept having moments like that where there was just nothing. And in a cartoon, especially for kids, where, I mean, this isn't fucking Kagamusha where you have to sit back and like let the enormity of what you just saw sink in, or you have to watch an actor like slowly perform something so subtle that you're like, oh yes, it's the things he's not doing which are important. You see how Rick Moranis doesn't make a joke after he walks into this door. That's the real message.
The show that should have had all the awkward silence should have been Beverly Hills Teen, because Ryan Gosling, as his character from Drive, is in it as a child.
Yeah.
And that movie, the first 7 minutes don't even have talking in it.
And he's also really awkward because he's fucking that mannequin.
It's just him. Oh, yes, I forgot. Of course. Are you talking about Lies and the Real Girl, or are you talking about Mannequin? Ryan Gosling's best movie.
No, this takes place
Hollywood
in Beverly Hills, not Hollywood.
But Mannequin also wasn't in Hollywood, though. It was in Philadelphia.
I think it was shot in Philadelphia. Did it take place in Philadelphia?
I have no idea.
We've never seen Mannequin. Please don't get upset with us, Mannequin fans. Yeah, so I guess the winner tonight is Beverly Hills. Fucking Gravedale High was a nothing show.
Which is sad, because I love monsters. I hate high school. I fuck anything with high school in it, I abhor. Even like Persona, it's like, hey, this is kind of cool. High school, no thanks.
But Persona has monsters.
Yeah.
So it got you back in.
But guess what has monsters and is also in high school? The Nothing Show. Actually, I think Beverly Hills Teen is the show about nothing because it's got Jerry Seinfeld in it.
The Nothing Show. Who is Jerry? You keep saying Jerry
Pierce.
Seinfeld.
He's got the same hair as Jerry Seinfeld.
You say Pierce, and I just keep thinking of the characters from Community.
Okay, Pierce and Troy from Beverly Hills Teen.
So yeah, there's no Chris Recommends. Chris recommends not doing a show where you watch cartoons and review them. That's what I recommend.
Chris recommends Cyanide. Let's recommend Harvey Beaks again.
Well,
there we go. It's a good show. Watch it again.
There are 2 other cartoons that I have to watch. We gotta watch our next Bad Toons. We're watching Evil Con Carne and then Pepe Le Pew. We're watching some Pepe Le Pew shorts because then I can finally win that game of DS9 bingo.
Did you just say that Evil Con Carne is a bad tune? If there was not a table and a microphone separating us, I would beat the shit out of you.
So in closing, from Bad Toons, Andy, do you have any other remarks you wanted to say before we close?
I no longer fear death. I welcome it.
Last idea to cross her mind had something to do with where to find a pair of jeans to fit her butt and where to get her toenails cut. Toenails cut.
write this story about me?
Yeah, Coach did. Pretty awesome, huh?
I'll show you awesome. No one says I'm not 100% monster. Yeah!